To increase your grammar score, I have one more technique. This is the third method for using if. It's called the reversal or the opposite effect. All you have to do is, after you've explained all of the effect from the previous answer, you can now show the opposite. So we talked about what happens if we teach kids to eat healthily when they're young. Now let's talk about what happens if we don't teach them this. So, in my last answer, I finished off by saying this will hopefully lead to more opportunities for them in the future. And that would be pretty good. I could stop there, or I could add the opposite idea, and I could also use if for this. If they don't develop these habits, they may struggle with health and academic performance later in life. Now, of course, some of you might be thinking, is this a variety of sentences? You've used if 3 times. And you're right, you don't have to use if every time. There are many other ways you could do this. For example, rather than using if like I did here, you could say, without these habits, they may struggle with health and academic performance later in life. The word if is one really effective word, but like all words and sentence structures in IELTS, if you use the same thing again and again, you won't have much range or variety. Now remember, whenever you use that word if, there is an opportunity to add some stress to that word to show that you're developing the idea or possibly contrasting the previous idea. If we look at my last answer, you can see how the phrase, if they don't develop these habits, is contrasting with the previous 2 sentences. So it's a beautiful opportunity to add a little bit of stress. If they don't develop these habits, they may struggle with health and academic performance later in life. A little bit of stress can make a big difference. So we've covered variety in grammar. Now let's talk briefly about accuracy. The grammatical structure that works the best here would probably be the first conditional. And you can see these sentences here. If kids learn to eat healthily from a young age, they'll have better eating habits as they get older. So, if kids learn present simple, they will have future. Another example would be to use second or a mixed conditional, and you can see the example here as well. If the food is expensive, then the food would probably be better. Or if the food were expensive, the food probably would be better. Either of those would be acceptable. Thanks for sticking around so far. For that, I've actually got one more bonus method for you.